feels good, and more importantly, so that's and to be doing something I have always wanted to do, to tell real life changing stories that will help you and I to get over the challenges we're faced with, because whether we like it or not, in life we will have challenges, but what becomes of us is how we handle the challenges when they come. And hopefully, Unedited on 3FM 92.7 will give you the tools and the know-how and the knowledge to navigate the challenges in life. My name is Miriam Osea Edman, and welcome to Unedited on 3FM 92.7. Now, for my very first episode, and it sits quite well with the grand agenda of 3FM at the moment. It is a power of three, and you have heard on Sunrise, on Urban Blend, on 3FM, that we're supporting the Senior Correctional Center to support the inmates there, improve their quality of life. Today, my guest knows what it feels like to be behind bars. More importantly, when you're innocent of what you're charged of. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to welcome my guest for the first edition of Unedited, Mr. Maxwell Barnieh. Did I get the last name right?
That's right.
Because I kept tossing whether it was Barnieh or Barnieh.
It's Barnieh.
It's Barnieh.
Yes.
Thank you so much for journeying all the way from the Ashanti region to join us here. I know that this means so much to you.
That's right.
And so I am super grateful to have you here. How are you doing?
Thank you, by God's grace. Coping small.
Coping small.
Coping small.
Nice one. And of course, in Kumasi, you live with your family or you live alone?
Yes, with the family. My mom, especially. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you're still a mom's boy.
Yeah.
Or should I say a mom's man?
That is because you've now come, so you have to start from.
Nice
somewhere.
one. And Kumasi is where you've always lived your life, right?
Yes. Not really. That's where I stem from. But I left Kumasi somewhere to work in Takoradi.
Oh, to work in Takoradi, okay.
Also at Winneba in Accra, yes.
Nice one. And in all these places, Winneba, Takoradi, you're working there as a teacher?
Yes,
or
I was
what?
teaching all this well. The reason being that, after school, I lost my dad whilst I was in school. And being the eldest of my mother's children, I had other siblings as well, but for my mother's side, I was the eldest.
Right.
And I felt that let me work. So it was that I was just teaching. Teaching. So
teaching what?
I taught English language at the JHS and some also at the upper primary. And for the primary, I think I taught almost in every class. Yeah, in every class.
I see.
Yeah.
So you've been a class teacher for years?
Just being a class teacher and a subject teacher.
teacher.
For years.
Nice one. And is this something that you have done as a profession, or it was just a convenience, a profession because you didn't have a job at the time? Is this something you've always wanted to do?
That is it. It's something that I had passion for.
Okay.
And I taught basically in private schools.
Okay.
And private schools, what that they want is competence and the way you deliver. I mean, yes, I have been in a school that the one that was handling English language at the JHS had schooled even more than me.
Okay.
But some officers, I was then teaching primary 6. Then some officers came to the school, they checked our work and all that.
Yeah.
I was in the house when the head and assistant came to look for me and said they are making some changes. So the one who, I think he was then having his HND.
Yeah.
In those days, they were not converted to technical universities, so
right.
And he was moved right from JHS to primary 4. The primary 4 teacher brought to my class in class 6. Then I was moved from classes to take English language at JHS.
Oh, I see.
So private schools deals with competence. They deal with competence.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you worked your way to the top, especially because you had mentioned to me off air that you don't necessarily have a teacher training background.
That's right.
So on what basis were you able to rise from the bottom all the way to the top? Was it your relationship with your pupils? Was it feedback your parents were getting? What was it?
Well, it's all. The reason is that, you see, in private schools, if you are good, I mean, when I say in the classroom.
Right.
Yes, you see that the pupils themselves admire you, and their parents, of course, also begin to admire you.
Yeah.
And I had a passion for it. So before you go to the classroom, apart from, should I say, the lesson notes we prepared, there were times that I had to do my personal research. And, you know, there was sort of in-service training here and there.
Right.
So I had my training college everywhere in the classroom.
Interesting.
That's right.
Well, I mean, sometime in 2015, I think, the unexpected happened.
That's right.
And it was in the line of your job.
That's right.
You were working as a teacher.
That's right.
Right? In a school that you had just been transferred to? Is this a school that you chose to go to yourself, or you were you chose to?
I chose to. The residents I had then went to the school and come home. And before I realized, you know, time was catching up, so I had to quickly find a school.
Okay.
So this was not a big school. If you look at some of the schools I've taught in, some of them are very big schools. But they gave me an offer. And I'm not a lazy person. I always want to work. So I said, well, let me help them later on then. Probably as I normally do, I find a bigger place to go.
Yeah.
So that was 2015 in November.
In November?
Yes, and in November it's hardly to get a very big school.
Okay.
So I just said, let me help them so that probably the next time I would find my way out. And that just 1 month I went to the school.
The November month.
The November in 2015. This unfortunate incident happened.
We'll dig into that, but when you went in November,
that's right.
You know, with schools, there's a lot of rumor that flies around. There's a lot of gossip that flies around. Were there any gossips in the school? I mean, rumors about anything at all? Anything that now that you look back, you thought, oh, this person was trying to forewarn me about something. When you think back now, was there anything of that sort?
Well, as you see, almost every school I've worked in.
Yes.
Whenever I go, you see that people get to know of me.
Okay.
Yes, because you see, the work is not, though it's good, it's basically about experience, competence, and that, and the love you have for the job. So immediately I go to every school, you see that the people, the teachers, everyone begins to know
naturally
me.
Like
that
you.
Yeah, this is so whether you like it or not, they will be sending you a name that a teacher has come here.
Okay.
And that is where some of the problems come from. In Ghana, that's MBA, maybe that kind of thing.
Right.
Somebody will say, when did you come here? And because you are good. And people may think that probably you want to take a sort of glory from them.
Is that what you thought was happening?
That is what I saw.
People felt threatened because
that is what,
you had, this is a new teacher who just came on the scene.
That is it.
Everybody almost immediately likes him.
My presence caused a certain fear in certain people.
Interesting.
That is what I saw. That is what I
mean, now that you mention this, even though we're about to talk about what happened,
that's right.
Did you at a point feel like you were, there may be a possible setup?
Oh, yes. I know it's a setup. I know.
Oh, you know it's a setup?
Later, you see, when the incident happened, you see, it came as a shock, actually, because, it was really astounding that having taught in different and many schools.
So this incident also happened in November?
Yes, the incident happened in November.
In November?
Yes, just after after the end of November. So I was arrested in December 2015. Yeah.
Let's talk about why you were arrested. Let's go back to December 2015.
That's right.
What was it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What day was it?
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday?
Yeah, it was a Thursday.
Okay. What, it started off as a regular day? You went to school and then what?
Yes, I have worked in schools, very good schools that, I don't want to mention names of schools here, but I've worked in schools that at times, even 25th, they can pay you.
Okay.
Yes, some of the proprietors are very good. And I've worked in schools whereby people from the government sector have even left also to work there. So some of them pay you very well. There are certain incentives and that. But some too, what I realized that they don't take good care of their teachers.
Right.
So some schools, they don't take care of their teachers. And some mushrooming schools, even at the end of the month, they may want to keep your salary and all that. So this particular school, when I went there, the month has ended for November. And typically of some of the schools I've worked in, the month has ended, it has even passed still. We are not hearing anything from them. I had just been there for 1 month. So of course, I complained to the authority. I complained to the school proprietress that. And later, she was not coming to school. She became offended.
After you raised concerns
yes,
about
after
your
I
salary.
raised concerns, because what I realized that the teachers that I met, some of them had just completed school and that, and I had been in the field for years, so I know how a school should be run. So I just complained, and she became offended. Yes, and she said I've insulted her, blah, 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 by telling even the case that because they've not paid their teachers and all that, you know.
Did you do any such thing?
Well, I did it in a way indirectly.
How did you do it?
I found a way to ask the children about the school. And from the interaction, I got to know that that is what they've been doing to teachers who come there. They don't pay teachers. So when I insisted that I would take it, it caused this problem that nobody knows where it came from.
So on the day when you went to school in December 2015
That's
and
right.
you were arrested,
That's right.
You were in class teaching.
In fact,
Or
that
you had
particular
closed.
day, the month that ended, and I think the 4th of December was supposed to be a farmer's holiday, because the 2nd was a Wednesday. They didn't pay, the 3rd they didn't pay us.
Right.
So the Friday was going to be a farmer's holiday. So we thought that on the 3rd they were going, but on the 3rd she didn't even come to school at all.
Okay.
So I called her on the phone, and she said, well, why did you ask the children this that you have insulted anyway? You come to the school.
Which was a holiday?
No, the Thursday.
Yes.
So come to the school later. No. So the following week, after the farmer's holiday, I went to the school. Monday, Tuesday, she was not coming to school.
Okay.
So I called her. She said, come to the school and take whatever you have to take on the Friday.
Which is supposed to be a salary?
Yes, on the Friday. But I told that I would come on the Thursday. I prefer coming on Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, so I went there on the Thursday as I arranged, and she told me to submit some exams questions because we were then preparing to write the exams.
Okay.
So I took the exams questions, and I was at the office. So that girl who put that lie on me.
How old is this girl?
She was then 11 years. So
11 years,
yes.
okay.
So now she's grown because 2015.
Yeah.
So that girl's class teacher came for the exams questions because that teacher was also the acting teacher.
Okay.
So he came for the exams questions. I submitted the questions to him, and there was a French teacher who was the administrator running the school with the proprietors. He was also there. Okay. So I was at the office, and I saw 3 women came there. I saw another 2 men also come to the office. I don't know them, and they were not in uniform. I don't know them, and really had been in that school for just 1 month. Okay.
So in that office there was a head, the
assistant head teacher came there, the acting head teacher, who happened to be the same girl's class teacher.
And then 2 women you had not seen
I've never seen before.
And 2 gentlemen.
And 3 women and 2 gentlemen came there to the office.
And what happened when they were
so
there?
when I saw them, I thought probably, it's a school, so maybe their parents and all that come to pay fees, or not knowing they were coming for my arrest. So the men came in after the women said, no, come and let's go. So what have I done? They said, let's go. So there was a taxi waiting for me there.
Were you handcuffed?
No, they were not security people. Okay. They just came.
Did they show you an ID?
They didn't show me any ID.
Did you ask to see an ID?
I didn't ask. It was a school. And really have never seen such a thing before.
I mean, somebody's asking to arrest you. But at that point, it didn't occur to you to ask for an ID.
You see, if such a thing happens to you, if I'm not careful, all of a sudden, you even lose sensory control. You may not really know even what to do. So they said, let's go. And I thought that, well, the police is a friend of all of us.
Did they say why they were taking you away?
Yes, when we entered the car, then they said we are going to the police. I said, well, let's go.
Oh, you didn't ask them why they're taking you away?
Yes, I told, when they said police station, I said, let's go. So I questioned them why. They said, when we reach there, you know what you have done. So the car drove to the police station. And when we went there, it was there they told me that my charge was that I've defied a schoolgirl.
Wow. Yeah. And at that point, when they told you that, what was it? Do you remember the first thought that went through your mind? I'm sure you probably laughed about it like you're laughing now.
It's so funny. I mean, how? I have a record of teaching a lot of children.
And these people who had accused you of it, is this the people that you were familiar with? Was she in your class? Have you seen, was she somebody you can identify in school?
actually, when you go to every school, it's not easy to identify people, all of them, especially by their names.
Right.
There are some of them you'll be able to know, and later you get to know others. But, you know, I was then teaching primary 4, and that girl was in primary 5. You see, even though there were times I went to help the DHS.
Did you ever encounter her?
I had seen her face that she's in the school. But she was not in my class. I didn't even know her name as at that time. I didn't.
You had never spoken to her.
No,
You had not. He had not come to you to ask you for anything.
For anything.
For assistance with with work.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
What about outside of this of school?
Even during the cross examination at the court, I asked her, does she know my house? She said no. I questioned her, have we ever worked together after school? She said no.
So when you were at the police station and you were told this is the crime you are being charged with, then what? You had to go. You were put into what's it called? You were taken into custody, and then a date was set.
Yeah, it was a new thing altogether, and I had not been to such experience before.
Yeah.
So I really had that confidence in the police that if the police station for all of us. So if you said we should go to the police, and let's go. So when he told me, I said, no, I've not done anything to her. So I tried to explain, and they said, no, remove yourself, take yourself, blah, blah, blah. I remember that day in those days, I used to wear some long shoes. I was wearing one of them. And I was wearing a dark spectacle. And she said, remove your clothing, remove all, and remain only your boxer.
Right.
And so I was trying to give an explanation, but they were not ready to take any. See, once you read the counter back, you see, then they are almost done with you. The only thing is to just lose yourself, then they push you into the cell. And
there, I'm sure, it was crowded? Or?
The cell?
Yes.
Just somehow. The cell was somehow crowded.
Right.
Yeah, and it was an experience you are going through. So the way, the places and all that, in fact, it was a very bitter experience.
And that night when you had left home all dressed and before the end of the day, you were in your boxes in cells. That night, share that with me.
Yeah. In fact, it wasn't easy. As I told you, it was a first-time experience, and more so the company you find yourself in, and the charge that is also laid on you. So a lot of things going through your mind. So who might have masterminded this? So I started thinking, I said, well, it may be this. You were thinking a whole lot of, and other even issues that probably some people have met to plan against me. Because as I told the court, I really knew nothing about it, nothing.
But then it went as far as going to court. And I think in 2016, you were sentenced.
Yes, well, you know, I told them I've not done anything.
Yeah.
So when you say that, we will definitely take it to court. So they will call you, write your statement and that. So it was taken to court.
What did the investigation say, really? What was revealed? Because I mean, if there's an issue of defilements, there should be medical reports. Was there any traces of whatever that links to you?
In fact, they did all that they could with all their lies. And you see, some people sat down and fabricated the story and put it in the mouth of that small girl.
Right.
Yeah, some people fabricated. In fact, I know some people did that with her. And this girl came to court, swore 2 times. She swore 2 times. She was lying. And you could even tell from her face that, oh, she's lying. And I was told at the court that we were then at chambers. So the trial judge, the second judge, told me I shouldn't watch the girl's face.
I think.
So she told me to watch her, and the girl was just lying and lying and lying.
On the day when your sentence was read to you, who else was in court with you?
My mom was there.
Your mom was there?
My mom was there. The issue being that when you plead not guilty, the trial, starts. They will remand you in custody again. Then in those days, defilement case, it were not bailable as it is today. Now I think almost every case is bailable. Depending on the discretion of the courts. But in those days, it was not bailable. So it took 7 months before the final judgment came. And I said everything to the court, everything. There was a time that even the trial judge didn't want to hear anything about the school. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So on that, well, I don't want to say fateful day, on that day when the sentence was read and you knew where things were going, do you remember how you felt?
Yes.
What was the first thought that came to your mind?
In fact, I was sorrowful, actually, even though I didn't shed tears.
Right.
But, you know, it was a bitter moment. My mom was crying and within me, so I'm going to prison. Because the reason is that particular day, I knew that definitely I was going to be acquitted. Because within me, I knew I've not committed any crime. So when the pronouncement of 20 years in that labor came, in fact, I was thinking, right there, I was at the court, my mind was also in prison. So how is the prison going to be like? In fact, which people are there? So with this case, when am I going to come out of the 20 years? In fact, it's a bitter experience.
And you spent, what, 6 years?
Yes.
In Nsawam?
Yes. When I was sentenced in July 2016, I was there. So I started appeal in 2021. And somewhere last year,
right.
that is April, the judgment came. That was acquitted and discharged.
When you mentioned that when sentence was being read to you, or when it was read, you were imagining what awaited you at prison.
Yeah.
The manner of people you were going to meet, the environment and all of that. When you finally got to Nsawam and you realized for the next whatever years, this is my address.
That's right.
What was the first thing that you noticed at Nsawam and you thought, oh, it's done?
Yes, when you enter the, you see some of the officers will even sympathize with you.
Okay.
Yeah, when you tell them your story and that. I mean, naturally, we are very good human beings everywhere you go. So you see that some of them will feel for you when you narrate the part of your story. So that, oh, but they were not there. You and I were not there. So you have to continue. So they will take your measurement and all that, you know, check if you're having scar on you or whatever.
Right.
Before, and when you go there, you've never been to prison before, so they have a place called Arrow. Yeah, you'll be there for some time. I spent about 2 weeks there.
Okay.
Yes, and later you enter down there. That is where the big prison itself is.
And the Arrow is it the premises close to the entrance?
No, it's somehow distant.
Okay.
But that place is, see, you've now come.
Right.
So they're going to advise you, talk to you about the prison and all that.
Were you alone there?
No, there are other people also.
Right.
There. Yeah.
When you were finally assigned to, I mean, where you spend your sentence, can you describe what the prison looked like where you were?
Yeah, the issue is you've been to a place, a lot of people, you know.
When you say a lot of people?
A lot of people, like in a particular
like 100, 200, 300?
No, like the blog, there are a lot of people in the blog.
Yeah.
In each blog, we have 12 cells.
Right.
Like the blog where I found myself, we have 12 cells. Together with other, apart from that, we have a place called the long blog. That is different. But the other blogs, blog 1 up to 5, we have 12 cells in each blog. And so when you go there, you see that the first day you go, you sleep on the floor. You sleep on the floor for some time because you've now come. You went to meet some people there. And there are beds there, but the beds are few. So you see many people sleep on the floor.
Right.
So look at somebody enjoying the comfort of your bed, and now you're going to sleep on the floor. Know within your heart that you did not commit any crime, and you are going to now sleep on the floor. And it's very painful, very, very painful.
Let's talk about the sanitary condition.
Okay.
I mean, of course, sometimes we hear all sorts of stories.
Yeah.
You know what it feels and looks like.
That's right.
So paints the picture that exists in Nsawam as far as sanitary is concerned.
Well, you wouldn't get it at home. Of course,
obviously.
You are not the only person there.
Yeah.
There are so many people there. And, you know, each person and the background where we come from.
Yeah.
So when many people meet together, definitely, others will want to have their own way. People may not use it the way you would also want to use it. And outside like this, we have a big bathroom that many people bath together. So imagine about 20 people, 30 people bathing at the same time. I mean, look at that. And also the WC. When I went the first, now, before I left, they had come to build some other toilet facilities over there. But in those days, there was a place like, it's a square. So you see people be squatting, 1, 2, 3, 4.
At the time?
At the time, yeah, at the time. And many a times in those days, I remember, even there will be queue. But now, before I left, that had come down because they had built some facilities around. But when I went there, it wasn't easy. At times, you have to queue. You see a white man queuing. You see, and it's not easy. You'll be queuing. When it's your turn, you go. And you know, wherever there are a lot of males, there are always struggles and challenges and all that, you see. So it's an experience that I wouldn't wish anybody to go there. It's not a good place to go.
Did you get into fights with inmates? Were there any such?
Oh, no. You know that, of course, I'm not that type. I don't like quarrels. But, of course, at times, you may not like certain things. But we have a way you have to address it. And let me say that, you see, the security system in prison is far different from that of the police cell.
Okay.
And no, in the prisons, apart from some of the inmates are called black coats. They are the inmate leaders. We have a national leader, we have assistant national leader, we have church leaders, blog leaders, and all that. So they all help to maintain peace and order there.
Right.
So you cannot just fight like that. You cannot hurt somebody like that because prison officer, what they hate is for you to hurt somebody. They hate, right? But in the police cell, so many things go on there.
I see. Share some with me.
Yes, some of them being that, you see, when you go there, you have to pay some money to them at the police cell that you have now come. And there are people at the cell who've been there for years.
You pay to who? To
the cell leader.
The cell leader, okay.
Yes, to the cell leader.
But this is you who have been stripped naked and you're only there in your boxes.
That is it.
So your family or whoever it is that came with you will have to pay money.
So when you go, like, when they look at you, oh, this man is somehow elderly, so she'll be decent, but definitely he will pay. So they will give you time, and definitely when you get a visitor, you pay. But there are some who will come, they don't have maybe even any family, but don't have anybody. And it will not be easy for you. And
so it's worse off at the police cell?
It's worse off at the police cell. I have no problem with the prison officer. Yes, you hear so many things, but I can tell you, there are very decent prison officers who are doing their work professionally, who love beings. There are some of them I really admire a lot, even though they are prison officers. So I don't want to wage any war against a prison officer because in my case, for example, they didn't play any role. They are just there, they brought you to them. So I would even plead that the government should take very good care of them. Because if they are taking care of a lot of people like this, and they themselves, they are not sound, I mean, financially and everything, it would definitely tell on them. So,
interesting.
Yes, but for the police station, I want to, what do you call it? I want to appeal to the IGP. That IGP should look at the police cells. So many things go on at the police cells that you can't do at Nsawam. Yes, I was at the police cell and they asked somebody to pay money. They beat him and the upper lip divided. I'm telling you. The upper lip divided. And at times something will be going on. The police officer on duty will pretend as if he has not heard anything about it. I hope you understand. And it's not easy at the police cell. But there are so many bad things at the police cell. You can't do that in prison. You can't do that because the prison officers will not allow you to do that. Especially when you want to attack somebody. They will not allow you. No.
Interesting. If you just tune in, of course, you're listening to us live on 3FM 92.7 and watching live on Facebook, our handles as well. This is Unedited. It's a very first edition of Unedited. I'm Miriam. And my guest is Mr. Maxwell Barnieh. He's a teacher who was falsely accused of defilement and sentenced to 20 years. Well, he said 6 years, and God being so good, he got his freedom back. So he's sharing his experience with us so that you'll be motivated that challenges can come, but it doesn't, end your life completely. Now, in as much as Zinsawam was better than, the police cell and all of that, you still didn't have your freedom. No. You didn't have your whole being.
Not at all.
Did you at a point feel this is the end? There's no way out. Did you contemplate that?
Yeah, there were, I had confidence in God. I believe that, the God that we serve is a good God, knowing my heart that I've not committed a crime.
Right.
So I was expecting my freedom, but the issue is that you don't know when. You don't know when. And more so, when I went to Insawam, there were people who advised me that I shouldn't try to challenge the case. I should go and beg the court to reduce my sentence.
Right.
There are people in prison that they fear courts. I hope you understand. Even though I can tell you that from every case, it can start from those in the condemn to robbery case to, in fact, based on my interactions, I can tell you that in every case there are innocent people. I'm telling you. But
so you're saying that a lot of them are in there because you're afraid to go to court, or what the court will decide?
Some of them are afraid to go to court to challenge a case. Like in my case,
for fear that maybe they may even extend their sentence.
Right. Like as I told, I was advised. Somebody advised me, said he has been in prison for years.
Okay.
He advised me that don't try that. So he told me about instances. Say, hey, don't do that. You just go and beg the court to reduce me. I said, no, I've not done it. So how can I go and beg the court to reduce? While within my heart, I know I've not committed any crime.
Right.
So I told him that, no, I want to go and tell him this case.
How was your family? Were they supportive? Did they believe in your innocence?
My mom, right from day one, believed in my innocence. Yeah, she knew it's not true. So she was by me, even though the financial aspect was another issue.
Right.
So my mom did all that she could. Even the second court, we took a lawyer, but they didn't go for us.
Right.
So we also, my other siblings, my father's children also came in, also to help me and all that. So even though the financial aspect was another issue.
But they did their very best. Have you been married? Were you married then?
In those days, as we're having girlfriend.
Okay. Also, you were dating somebody.
I was even preparing to get married. And
I see. Was the woman a teacher in the same school you were in?
No. I wanted to marry different professions.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was a caterer.
Okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the unexpected happened. And, that was all. Yeah.
So she left you because of course, what had happened.
Of course, she can't wait for even in the prison. So I'm not saying that prison is a good place. What I mean is that it's a bad place to be. But comparing that place to the cell, police cell, then that place.
So your girlfriend at the time left because of what had happened.
Of course,
she couldn't wait.
She couldn't. Even in the prison, people come there to divorce. Married people, wedded people, they bring their rings to their husband, but they can't marry again. There was an incident when a lady came there to divorce. When the husband was arrested, she was not pregnant, but she came with pregnancy to divorce. Are you getting me? So that is an issue that I believe that the state should look at conjugal visits, whereby, you see, married people can be allowed to
have intimate time.
Yes, because the reason is that, look at my case, for example. I know nothing about it. I have not committed any crime. And you put me into prison. And there are people having similar cases. So a lot of marriages have been broken because of this.
Right.
Yes, because many women cannot wait.
So of course, your girlfriend couldn't wait. She moved on. Is she married now?
Oh, she's married.
She's married.
Even now, I don't want to.
Or you have a different. You now, your eye no day inside again.
Now I've now come. So I'm a brower now.
Is it?
So now I'm a brower. So if I'm a brower, you don't even think of that now.
Let's talk about getting your freedom back again.
That's right.
So how did lawyer Martin People find out about your case?
Yes, Martin People is somebody who has been in the media. That personally, I've watched him on other networks, including your own and all that. So I had a sort of confidence that he's a very good lawyer. I had listened to him, his interviews and all that. So I told them to go and look for him. Yes, because I'd not seen him one-on-one. So I told them to go and look for him. So even the money that he was supposed to charge, knowing my condition, he decided to come down for me. Because if he had, charged me as 20 years imprisonment, going to challenge the case, I couldn't have paid him. Even though he charged us, but I think it was moderate.
Interesting. And when you went to court, the day that, the court declared you innocent, acquitted and discharged, oh my goodness, what day was it?
That day, I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. Yeah.
Right.
It was a Tuesday.
Your family obviously was waiting for you in the court.
In fact, when I went to court one, and the other was it's the lawyer that was going to the court. So I knew the day the judgment was going to be, but I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell anybody. In the prisons, nobody also knew. My family didn't know. I wanted to keep that between myself and the lawyer and the Almighty God. The reason is that, you see, your mom wouldn't know what to do in case the case turns somewhere. So I kept it to myself.
Oh, so they didn't know?
They didn't know. They knew that we are doing appeal.
Okay.
But they didn't know the day of the verdict. They didn't know. They didn't know. I kept it to myself, between myself and the lawyer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So after all of that, then what? You just showed up at home?
That is it.
My goodness.
No. Later they got the information.
Okay.
Yes.
Before you got home?
Before I got home.
Okay.
They got the information. But I liked it in that way.
Yes.
Than for everybody to know that there is a judgment day. And, prison, when you are going to court, everybody knows you are going to court. But in my case, the lawyer was the one going. So I was praying and waiting for the judgment day.
And then you got home and your mom and the whole family was waiting to welcome you.
That is it.
And I know that you.
But that particular day, you can't sleep all like that because you see where you are, you see, even though you've gone out, but still, there is your conscience is not totally out there. If you are not careful, the time you wake up in prison, you will still wake up at that time.
At the same time.
And the time of sleeping, when I went to Kumasi, I'm telling you that whenever I'm about to sleep, we will be at the hall and I will just be dozing. I feel sleepy. And my mom and my sister will be laughing. They say, why? At this time you want to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is the time we sleep. And you see, when it's time, 5 something, you want to sleep. And they'll be surprised. And you see, I couldn't also control myself. When it's time, I want to sleep. So it will take time before that goes out of
that
you.
Goes away. When you were in Sawam, did the school visit? Did any of your colleagues from the school? I know it was just what, 2 months?
1 month.
1 month. Just 1 month.
Yes, just 1 month. But with other schools that I've worked in,
they visited.
Yes, I had a proprietor, the wife. They came to visit me.
But this school in particular, nobody in the school visited
at the
you.
police cell, they didn't come there. The trial took 7 months. They didn't stop at the court. When I was incarcerated, they didn't also come there. So what is the meaning of that? Somebody comes to work with you as a worker, and just 1 month, the person faces such a serious case. You didn't come and even ask me my side of the story. So what is the meaning? Is it not because probably you are part of it or what? At least, after when I watch you on TV, I listen to you on radio and all that. You see, it's so amazing the way you work together. It's so amazing. And I believe that is how a workplace should be. We are there for each other.
Right.
When you look at the figure, they are not the same. You see, the quality somebody have, you may not have that. Forget about paper. You may have the paper, but somebody can excel more than you.
Absolutely.
That is how it is. So there is no cause for jealousy and backbiting and hatred. And
did you go to the school? You've been free for how many months or years?
Oh, just last year.
Just last year. Right. So you've been free for about what, 4 months?
That's right.
5 months.
Last year. Now, when I went, I intentionally wanted to see how.
Oh, you went to the school?
I just passed by. I wanted to see how the place looked like, and to amazingly, all the teachers that were there, they all left.
Who did you meet when you went to the school?
The proprietress of the school. When she saw me, I think she felt she had seen a ghost. Yeah, she felt she had seen a ghost. And you see, she was lost of words. She couldn't know what to do. She asked even of my contact number. I said, no, I can't give my number to you. But all the teachers that were working there, they've all left. And the school is now collapsing. There is no more DHS there. And the primary, I think we are left with a crate and few people in nursery and all that. So the school virtually collapsed.
Have you ever seen this girl ever since, I mean, all throughout this process? Have you had a chance to see her again?
I know, I've not had a chance to see her, and I don't know, because you put such a serious case on me. And you know, the case was that she said she was doing extra classes with her teacher. According to her own narration, I was also doing extra classes with my children. And she said she asked permission from her teacher to go and urinate. And when she urinate in front of my class, according to her story, I was doing extra classes with my children, and I told her to go and buy water for me. Right. In fact, in the course, she used pure water for me. And she said, she told me she's going to urinate. And so she said when she entered urinate and she was urinated, and I came there.
And then what?
And told her to remove herself and have sex with her at the urinal. I mean, how on earth can a teacher teaching the kids? If I want water, I could even have sent any of the children. And you are passing by, your teacher is there. Do you know the meaning of that? You see, children have a lot of confidence in their teachers. So that teacher was the longest serving teacher in the school. And of course, he was the acting head. So if truly a new teacher who has come to the school just 1 month can do this, you have to go and report to your teacher.
Were you fond of any of the students, the female pupils? Any of them that you thought, oh, well, these few are quite intelligent, and it was normal for them to be seen around you, or was that the case for you?
You know, when you are a good teacher and you know how to stay with children, definitely those in your class, they will come to you. That one is normal. You see that some of them intentionally, they will just want to talk to you.
Right.
And some of them, they want to ask you questions. And especially when you're a new teacher and they see you are good, they want to do everything they can to entertain you so that you become happy and keep on teaching them. But you are in a different class. You're not in my class. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And, you know, before you even know names, it starts marking their registers and all that, then begin to know their names well. So I didn't even know her name. Even though I had seen her face in the school, I didn't know her name. And how can you ask me from your teacher? You rate another teacher's class. And I asked her 2 times in the call. But at that time, when the children in my class, they said, yeah, my children were in the classroom. You see, so in fact, when the issue went...
When you defiled her?
Yeah, according to her. And the urinal, she said I defiled her. It's opposite my class. It's about 10 meters. So the investigator even confirmed and record that when you are there and somebody's passing, the person will see you that somebody's at the urinal. Are
you interested in meeting this girl?
I don't think...
I'm sure you have 1,000,001 questions you would like to ask her.
You know something? I don't know, but I don't think I want to meet. It depends. If I'm supposed to meet her at such a place. But even that one, we have to bring police personnel here so that whatever she wants to tell me, she'll tell me. Because if there are no police personnel, CIDs and all those people...
You're not interested in knowing why she would tell a lie, accuse you falsely?
That is up to her conscience. I don't know where she is actually. That one is up to the Almighty God. I don't know where she is as I'm speaking. But it's up to her own conscience. It's up to her conscience.
If she called you and said, I would like to meet with you, of course, with people around, and she would want to come and beg for forgiveness.
That's right.
Would you entertain her?
Yes. You know why? The reason being that I have taught a lot of children, and children were so dear to me. I'm telling you. So she's a schoolgirl still, because she was in a school that I was teaching, even though I'd been there just for 1 month. So if she regrettably, if I'd come to her senses and know that I did wrong to this teacher, and she apologizes, why not? But it will be at a place where there are a lot of people. Of course, I can't host her alone. What about this time it becomes rude?
No, not with her. not with her alone.
Okay.
I mean, if, for instance, maybe the family had requested, you know, but clearly it's not something that you want to do now.
That's right.
Understandably so, because you still need time to heal.
That is it.
You're now picking up your pieces again. So
that is it.
Where are you starting from? Now that, you know, you have freedom, what next? What do you intend to do next?
Well,
are you going to go back to teaching?
For teaching, no. Okay. I don't want to teach again. Right now, it will be maybe buy and sell. You see, of course, I'm a hardworking guy. I have to do something. and not forgetting that I'm not even married. Are you getting me? So you have to look at all this, that I have to start doing something. Of course, not teaching. So
why? Is it because you think that as an ex-convict you may not get the the recognition that you need? You think people will stigmatize? Why? Because you had told me in the beginning of a conversation that teaching is something that you love. I mean, to come this far even without formal training means there's something that you're very passionate about.
That's right. But for now, no. And more so, I'm in my 40s. I'm aging. I have taught for years. I hope you understand. So I I want to let it go and focus on any other thing. But for the stigmatization, whether you like it or not, there are people that you even call them who know you. They don't want to pick your call because you came from prison, you're not from America. So that one is there. But the comfort, you comfort yourself. You see, let me read something. When you read the judgment, the High Court, okay?
Right.
I just want to read a small portion. The High Court judge said that. He said, be that as it may, there is no evidence on record that it was the accused person who had carnal or natural carnal knowledge of the victim. There is no evidence. That's what the High Court said.
Right.
Before she pronounced acquitted and discharged. And part of it, she says that with such failure to establish the essential elements of the offense, it follows that the offense charge was not established against the appellant beyond reasonable doubt, and he ought not to have been convicted.
Are you going to be compensated?
That's one, I don't want to talk about it for now. These are purely...
But you have initiated the process of compensation.
You see, I have a lawyer.
Yes.
So these are legal issues that I don't want to comment. You leave that for the legal brains.
Absolutely. For
them to work on it. I hope you understand. But you know something, even when I read this,
right,
I'm sort of comforted. The reason is that, you see, it takes an eagle eye, somebody who is having a legal eagle eye, to just see that, what this girl said is totally a fabricated story.
There was a post that my producer, Mami Ajua Khan, shared with me this morning, and it was a similar situation where a gentleman in Nigeria had been wrongly accused by a lady of rape, and she eventually apologized. But what this gentleman was asking for is to have women who wrongly accuse men of rape to serve the same length of sentence that the men are given. What's your take on it?
In fact, I'm happy that a lady is even asking me such a question. You see, the issue is that people put such serious cases on people, and at the end of the day, what happens to those people? Especially in my case, look at what the judge said. You see that I shouldn't even have been convicted. I understand. So those people who did that, you see, we have to go back to the Constitution and make certain amendments, because you cannot. In those days, I was visiting the King's Palace in Kumasi, the Asante Yene's Palace.
Right.
I visited there on many occasions, and I love the way the setup is. Before even Asante Yene comes out with this judgment, you see that they have different sites. They've been and Akwamu Konti. This faction will come out. They also come out with it. Before the linguists will talk, the chief linguist will talk, before finally the king himself speaks.
Right.
So we have to go learn certain things. Rather, my sister, taking somebody to prison is a serious thing. As I'm talking to you, I'm not healed completely. I'm telling you. There are times when you see a prison officer, or when you see the policeman, you begin to think certain things. When I see inmates who are wearing blue going to work somewhere, you begin to think of so many things. So we see we should create a certain atmosphere whereby those who fabricate such serious cases on people will stop that thing. Because in my case, you could see that some people, there was a conspiracy. They conspired and fabricated a story and put on me. And you see, one thing that is so sad, the CI, the investigator, I told her that let's go to some of the schools that I've taught in. She said, we don't have money to do that. I've worked in schools for years, and the place that I just went for 1 month, they put such a serious case on me. And you called that, you were asking, because when you went to the school, you said you didn't talk to anybody in the school. You didn't talk to any teacher. You didn't talk to any students in the school. So what investigation did you do?
Interesting. I mean, this is a conversation that I think that we should have even more time to talk about. But this is also very important because here at 3FM, we are championing the Power of Three campaign. And this Easter Monday, we're going to the Senior Correctional Center to support and better the lives of inmates there. And so if you're watching and you've been touched by the story, now you know that there are lots of people behind bars who are clearly innocent. But they deserve a certain quality of life as well. We are asking you to reach out to them by supporting the Power of Three campaign. We have a WhatsApp, we have a Momo number that you can support with money, or if there are any other items that you think can better the life of inmates behind bars, do support us with it. The Momo number is 0579 433 110. That's 0579 433 110. Use the reference P3 and your contribution will be received and we will do the needful. We have to be wrapping up because unfortunately our time is up, but this is our camera. I want you to look into the camera, and what would be your advice to anyone who has a family or anybody who has been wrongly accused of crimes or an offense they did not commit?
Well, I would say that within their hearts,
this would be your camera. This would be your camera.
Within their hearts, even though it's a bitter experience, but they should find places in their heart to let it go. Because the more you think about it, the more it will also hurt you. So anyone who has been to such a situation, we pray that God will be their defense and God will speak for them. God will make a way for every such one. But what I would ask that they should take it from them. Because the more and you see, one thing is you don't take the law also into your own hands. That this one did this to me, so I'm going to kill a human being. You have been to prison before, you know that the serious case that is over there is a murder case. So if you were wrongly convicted and whatever, whether you are acquitted and discharged or you have served your sentence, never think that you are also going back to harm anybody. Let God fight for you, and I hope you'll be okay. And I also want to tell all men that if you know you are fan of sleeping with small girls, put a stop to it. Because some of these things cause that problem. Because the fact that somebody defiles a small girl today, tomorrow, if somebody does not even commit such a crime, because you did it, it turns out to be true. So all men, I'll plead with all men, that if you are found of falling in love with small girls, sleeping with small girls, defiling them, put a stop to it. Because if you do that tomorrow, because of that wickedness you did, can let an innocent person also be put into prison. So that is what I have for them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnieh. So, well, you know, as to say from the horse's own mouth, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We hope that we achieve our goal to encourage and motivate you. Challenges will come, like I always say, but you don't have to give up. You can pick up the pieces and rise. My name is Miriam Osayajman. You can always watch this interview again on our Facebook channels on 3FM 92.7. Till next week, Wednesday, stay motivated.